Yo fam, Coach Sam from Strong Gents Coaching back again with another video for you guys. And on today's video, we're talking about sacrifice and why in the new year of 2023, you need to learn and accept the fact that some sacrifice is going to happen when you are trying to achieve a goal in whatever realm of life that may be. But why should you listen to me, gentlemen? Because I've been a personal trainer for a decade and counting, helping countless people achieve their health and fitness goals. But not only this, I'm an ex-ultra marathon runner, obstacle racer, and power lifter. And I did all that with a connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. If I can do this stuff, you can do this stuff. All right, gents, so we're talking sacrifice today. What do I mean when I say sacrifice? Well, I actually mean pretty much exactly what I'm saying. Sacrifice as in you're giving something up. You're letting go of something. Now, we're going to use weight loss as the example here because I had this conversation with a client this morning who's struggling to lose weight, but they are motivated because it's the new year to really make it happen. And the reason they struggled for the past 6 months to lose a significant amount of weight is because they were not accepting sacrifice. They were not willing to sacrifice what they were doing to do new things to get the result that they want to achieve. So in terms of weight loss, say you love fast food. You just love it. You get it 2 times a day. Say you love sodas. You love just watching 7 episodes of your favorite Netflix show back to back to back. Say you love these things. A sacrifice really is the letting go or giving up of something that you love and enjoy. Like that's a hardcore sacrifice right there. That is really what sacrifice is giving up something, letting go of something that you really enjoy, that you really care about, that's important to you. And so in terms of weight loss, okay, you're going to have to let some of that stuff go. You're going to have to sacrifice some of those things, make a sacrificial statement to yourself that you're not going to watch 7 episodes of Netflix every single night and stay up till 3 a.m. doing so anymore. Instead, you're going to limit it to 2 episodes a night. That way you can get good night's sleep. It's going to be the fact that instead of ordering fast food all the time, you're going to sacrifice that craving. You're going to sacrifice that food for food that is more oriented to the goals that you're trying to seek, because these are going to help you get there. And although they might not hit the centers in your brain that are so powerful with those cravings, they might not make you feel as good as those fast foods do. You're making the sacrifice for the outcome. You're sacrificing that immediate gratification, that initial mouth pleasure that you get from the fast food for an amazing aesthetic look and feeling that you're going to get when you achieve your weight loss goal. You're going to sacrifice some social time because you need to make sure you get your workouts in, or you know that if you go to that certain restaurant, you're going to succumb to the food and the drinks there. So you make a sacrifice to not go there and indulge in those things. I'll give you a quick example of the layout of sacrifice using football analogy, because it uses the same things. Like sacrificing is giving something up, right? So you need to give in order to receive, okay? And if you want to receive something, work has to be put in place beforehand before you can receive it, most of the time. Sometimes you get lucky, right? But in terms of weight loss and achieving successful goals and things like this, luck is not really something you can bank on all the time. Luck is when people work super, super hard and the timing is right. That's luck, right? Most of the time, that's luck. But the crazy luck where things just fall in your lap is slim and it doesn't happen that often, right? But to use football as an analogy, okay, if you want to receive something, you have to give something, right? So for example, say you're on offense in football and you're a quarterback and or you're a wide receiver, okay? You're not going to receive the ball. The ball is not going to be given to you. It's not going to be thrown to you if you haven't laid in the groundwork before receiving that ball. The only way you're going to receive that ball is if you put yourself in a position to be receivable. If you put yourself in a position for someone to actually give you something so you can run with it. So for example, with a wide receiver in football, they put in a ton of hard work when that ball is snapped to break away from the defender and create space to give them the opportunity to receive that ball so they can create a great play. It's the same thing in life. You're making sacrifices. You're giving something up. You're putting in effort to create something, to receive the benefit of something so you can keep creating something great. So sacrifice is extremely important. There is discomfort that comes with sacrifice, and most people don't understand that. Most people think that when they try to achieve their goals, it's supposed to be easy. This shit ain't supposed to be easy. It's never easy. Achieving anything in life is never easy, but especially your fitness goals. They're so possible, and it's super simple, but it's not easy. The reason it's not easy is because it does take sacrifice and dedication and commitment and consistency. We're sacrificing our old self. You're making a sacrificial, whatever it's called. You're making a sacrificial presentation to the spirits above of yourself. You're saying, I am not going to be that person anymore. I want to be a new person. So I'm going to give myself up to create a new human being. I'm going to give up these old habits. I'm going to sacrifice these old pleasures of mine in order to incorporate new ones, to set myself up to receive the results that I'm looking for. Okay, it's supposed to be hard, guys. It's supposed to be difficult. Okay, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. And that goes for everything. That goes for being in insane shape. That goes for getting your doctorate. That goes for starting a business. That goes for being financially free. That goes for having a healthy relationship. And I'm no guru and all this stuff. It's just common sense. Sacrifice is in everything. Okay, it is in everything. For example, I'll give you an example. When I was training for ultra marathon, this was back in 2020 when coronavirus hit, and I had nothing to do except to run, basically. I was like, I'm going to run an 50-mile ultra marathon. Why not? I'm not a huge runner in general. I've always ran a little bit, but I was more of a sprinter, activity, obstacle race person. I didn't really get into running until, later on in my mid-20s, right? So maybe a year and a half before Corona hits, 2018 and a half, I got into running. So anyways, COVID hit, I had a lot of time, and I wanted to run this 50-mile ultra marathon. I just had this goal in my mind of running 50 miles on my birthday. I was like, I'd never done that before. The most I had ever ran up to that point was probably 16 miles maybe, or maybe I had done a marathon already. Oh, I did do a marathon already. So the most I had run was 26 miles. But 50 is double that. 50 miles is double that. That's 2 marathons, basically. Essentially, that's what you're running. So I had to sacrifice a lot of social time, even though Corona, you really weren't getting together. But I did have plans with friends and stuff. We were, go, whether it be get together and play some spades at nighttime or Call of Duty on the PS4. So I had to sacrifice some of those late nights because I needed to get some sleep because running takes a long time, right? And I really wanted to achieve that goal. And I also had to sacrifice, saying no to the drinks. I worked my ass off from 2019 to 2020. I averaged about 75 or 80 hours a week in the gym, okay? Just early mornings, 6 a.m.s start, so waking up at 4:30 in the morning and then getting home at 11 o'clock at night and doing the whole thing again for a year plus, 7 days a week, Sunday through Sunday. And I was burnt out. I didn't get any social time really, and I easily could have just said, screw it, I'm going to be lazy and let myself go. Because COVID hit and I don't have to go to work because work shut down, and I'm just going to drink my whiskey that I love. I'm going to order in some pizza that I love, and I'm just going to play Call of Duty and watch Netflix because I haven't done that in years. And you know what? For the first week, I did some of that stuff. I drank a little bit of good whiskey. I played some Call of Duty with my boys, and I stayed up late watching some shows, catching up on some shows I missed. And then I was like, yeah, I'm over it. I want to run this ultra marathon. So I had to sacrifice that stuff. So I stopped, the late night Call of Duty. I stopped the whiskey. I cut out drinking. I made a strict diet plan for myself, a structured running plan for myself, and I accomplished it. I ran 50 miles on my birthday in 2020 when I turned 26 years old. I'll have that forever. That is an accomplishment I will have forever. But it required some sacrifice, especially a lot of pain too. I have this connective tissue disorder called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and it's associated with a lot of pain because the connective tissue in our body tends to not be as strong. So there's a lot of strain, there's a lot of sprains, tears, dislocations, subluxations, if you want to call them that, but just discomfort, basically. The joints are not held together properly, and so there's a lot of inflammation, a lot of soreness that is created through intense physical activity, and the ultramarathon put a ton of stress on my body, and every session was harder and harder and harder, and my body was hurting. So not only did I sacrifice things like that were pleasurable to me, I sacrificed my own body. Okay, I was in a lot of pain, and I had to accept the fact that I'm making the sacrifice of pain to achieve a goal. I know it's going to be painful. I'm in pain. I'm probably going to create some injuries that will never go away again, but I want to reach this goal so badly. I'm willing to sacrifice that. I'm willing to sacrifice a piece of my health and well-being to achieve this goal. Now, I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm saying that's the mindset I was in, and it's a very powerful mindset, because if you're in a mindset like that, you can pretty much accomplish anything in the world, because you're willing to sacrifice a lot. If you're in that mindset, you're willing to sacrifice a lot, and that could be for good or for bad, right? So sacrifice is a slippery slope depending on what we're talking about. But when we're talking about health and fitness in general and weight loss in general and accomplishing these physical feats, sacrifice is good. Okay, sacrifice makes you a better person. It makes you a more disciplined person. It makes you more personally responsible. It actually makes you appreciate things more. When you sacrifice for a long period of time and then you allow yourself to receive these good things in life again, you're more receptible to them. They're more joyous to you. They're more enjoyable to you. They make life more enjoyable. That's why I don't drink a lot. In general, okay? I'm not someone who has a drink every single night. I'm normally someone who drinks like once a month, to be honest. I'll probably see my buddies, once a month now, since we're all busy and stuff, and I'll have a glass of whiskey with them, mostly because I love those guys so much. I want to share that time with them, and they all love whiskey just like I do. I love it too, and it's good to share that moment with them, in time, because you never know when something's going to happen. But in general, I make a sacrifice of things like this for my health and well-being and stuff. And you guys should do that too if you really want to get on this weight loss journey, if you really want to accomplish your goals, because it's so possible. Like, you can absolutely do it. It's a mindset here. Like, here's the thing. You have to have a switch in your mindset. Okay, and I was explaining this to a client earlier today. You have to stop thinking like when you're trying to achieve a goal, right? It's not about like things are being taken from you. Like, you're not allowed to do this thing anymore. You shouldn't have that mindset. Like, like I'm trying to like lose weight, so like I can't have fast food anymore. I can't drink anymore. Man, I can't sit down and watch 7 hours of Netflix anymore. That's not a good mindset, right? That makes sacrifice very, very difficult. But if you could swap that, if you could change that mindset from like, things are being taken away from me, to I wonder how long I can go without this thing. If you can turn it into a challenge, if you could say, you know what? I think I can actually manage going this long. Let me see if I can do it. It's a different perspective. Then you're going to be more willing to sacrifice it, because it's a challenge, right? We like challenges more than we like people taking things from us. Like, you don't like when things are taken from you. You'd rather give it up yourself. Okay. Like, for example, if you're little kids and someone's like sharing is caring and they ripped it out of your hand, you're going to cry. Right? But if you're that same little kid and someone came over and they looked a little sad and you felt bad for them and you were like, I'm going to share this toy, it actually makes you feel good. You're giving that sacrifice up because you know the benefit that you're going to receive emotionally is positive. So you like that feeling, right? Well, the same thing is true for health and wellness and losing weight. Is if you sacrifice these things initially, like you're giving something up, but the benefit you get in return, the feeling you get, the gratification that you get in return down the line from making those sacrifices is immense, and it's amazing, and it's something that you should strive for. Okay, a little discomfort is okay. People are too soft today. A little bit of discomfort is okay. A little bit of discomfort goes a long way. You should not be scared of being uncomfortable. I had somebody who I'm trying to help with, lose weight, and they live a completely and totally different life than I do in terms of their upbringing and just, how they perceive the world and all this, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I have so many friends who have different perspectives as well. The issue I have with this individual in terms of getting them on the right track is they are so, defensive to sacrifice anything, even if it's something so small. Like, for example, I'm trying to implement some intermittent fasting with this client. And I suggested that they bump their breakfast back from their usual 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And they got so defensive, saying, I'm going to be starving. I'm going to be miserable. 1 hour. I had to change it and put it in perspective to them. I said, your son is in school all day long, and he gets one lunch break in the middle of the day at 12:30, okay? If he can wait, and normally he probably doesn't eat breakfast, if he can wait all day, or if he can wait 5-6 hours to eat his lunch, then you can wait 1 hour to eat your breakfast, 1 hour more to eat your breakfast, right? Until your body adapts. And you're making that sacrifice to get the benefit, because this person's body will adapt to that 1 hour back, and then they can push it back another hour and then another hour until they're incorporating this intermittent fasting clock into their life so they can reap the rewards. But if you're so defensive right away of making a simple sacrifice because of a little bit of discomfort, you need to change your perception. And I suggest you start with changing your perception from thinking that everything's being taken away from you to thinking it's a challenge. How long can I go without eating that fast food? How long can I go with drinking black coffee? How long can I go walking 3 days a week? How long can I go with saying no to my friends on the weekend? Make it a challenge, because if it's a challenge, you're more receptive to it in general. Instead of, like I said, instead of a child getting his toy taken away, he's giving it up by his own will. And I think that's very powerful. But you also have to be receptive in terms of just like accepting the fact that it's okay to let things go. Like you will not see change at all. You will not achieve your goals at all if you don't pursue change, if you're not willing to change, if you're not willing to let things go. So sacrifice is extremely important. All right, gentlemen, that's all I got for you today. I hope that wasn't, drawn out too much, but I do get passionate about these subjects here. That's all I got for you today, gents. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel, dog. The motto here is train your life to change your life, because I truly believe we can train small aspects of our lives every single day to see a grand positive result in the future. Until next time, peace.